Welcome to CathyDslayt's website for January 7th, 2021, SRC4U software Zoom call. To access the call, where you see these words here, click here. We're going to click there, and you'll need to remember this password. Do you want to allow this page to open? We'll type in that passcode, and we'll join the call. And we're waiting for Cathy to open the room. She'll be with us momentarily. Cathy has opened up the room, and we will join without video. We'll join with video. Join with audio. Join with computer audio.
The more you pay attention to your instincts. And so yesterday after our call, I was getting my hair done anyway at 1, and so I just went ahead and I had a fiction book. This is it, The Pharaoh Key. I never have a fiction book. I always have, quantum or healing or something like that. And I went ahead and walked to my hair salon thing instead of drove, stopped on the way and had me a grilled cheese and french fries. Went down there, read my book, and didn't ever look at any YouTubes or news. I just had a feeling not to do that. I'm going to share a few things with you today that you can then apply if you're interested, but it's what I'm going to apply to this kind of stress. And this is not political. It doesn't matter who you're for as far as party lines. There are certain basics that we can require for our sovereignty. So let me just kind of show you. So you see we had a high benefit of getting a name image today. And these images are templates because we're in the middle of what may be infinite information. And I've come to believe that there are times we want a template to pull in a focused bit. So let's just see what it is we're asking for. And while I'm scanning that, the book that I had picked up and brought with me, and the reason I had it, I'd been to a used bookstore and actually had a big pile of books on healing, and as I was leaving, saw this and just had the strangest intuition to get it. And basically it's a book about a man who just has 2 months to live because of a brain type thing, and what he ends up doing as a former engineer, they're looking for a special code. And of course, code, that's right up what I love to read about. And I'm not done with the book, but in situation after situation, they come to where it looks like things are hopeless and they're all going to die. And then something happens. It's quite interesting as far as for those who may have given up hope about various things. It's quite interesting and thought-provoking. And I don't know how it's going to end. In these books, the hero always makes it, so I presume that'll happen this time. But the way they seem to get out of the situations they're in is through distraction. The guy with the brain thing, as a child, was a magician, and he's able to do the art of distraction, and that may be what we're seeing now. And look at 0. Isn't that interesting? What we want is to reveal the dark side. And I'll show you, that's so funny because I'm going to show you the notes I took this morning as I got up and started gathering some information. Let's just go in right here.
Cathy, what was the name of that book?
It's The Pharaoh Key by Preston and Child. And it was so interesting because I was just in the bookstore, and I don't know how many of you are in St. Pete. This is an incredible little bookstore with books stacked to the ceiling and yet very well organized. And I never go to the fiction part. And as I was leaving, I paid for my books, and I'm walking out, and I looked and I saw this book, and I went back, and I spent all my money on books. And he didn't want to take a card, so I fished out, and he finally, I gave him what I had left for this. And this book is extremely thought-provoking. Because no matter how bad it gets, something works out. And so here we've got our reveal the dark side. And with that in mind, let me just show you a few of the notes this morning. And we're going to douse a few things in. I'm going to send this to any of you that are on the call, and you can either dump it or not dump it. But anyway, some things we know. These are not speculations. We know that a number of Antifa were in Washington, D.C. yesterday dressed as Trump supporters. We've got the evidence on that. We know that. We also know that the media took some staged pictures. So let's start. These are just some things I'm going to do for the group, but you may choose to do for yourself also. 2021 is filled with disclosure and joy. I think we're going to learn some things that we may not want to know. That there are some things that have been going on, that some people in high places that we've trusted that have not been honest with us. So let's go ahead and douse that in. Let's put it in the shin since it's just at a 98, because it doesn't matter. We're not talking politics right now. And if there's something we need to know, we want to know. Now, this media was definitely egging on violence. It always does. And again, just take a closer look at this for yourself. So I put the code in neutralize media stimulation for violence. Now, I actually had something yesterday when I got back. I did have some appointments. And I had one lady in the middle of her appointment. Her husband came running in to tell her something that the mainstream media had said. And I said, excuse me, that's not true. And she says, what? And so, I shouldn't have done that, but I couldn't help it. It just came out. I said, it's not true. And people are not looking for truth. So now you see this neutralize media stimulation for violence. That really, there's a lot of stress there with that. And that's one thing this book is talking about. What they're actually searching for is code. And my gut tells me that whatever code they find is going to heal this guy's brain problem. So it's right up my alley. But they're actually talking about how codes are hidden into images. And of course, we send ourselves a lot of images. And the media, the communication industry in general, knows how to do this. Whether they're doing it or not is not my call. But I can see, anybody can see if they just listen a little bit, that there's violence that they're wanting.
Can I share this?
What's that?
Can I share this?
Oh, yeah.
I sent you a video yesterday, and I'm not going to get into too much detail because we're talking about symbolism, but I didn't hear the other part because we know that the big T man has ancestors with a time machine. But what I was focused on was the symbol. Did you see the square box in the circle? It's a power symbol. It's a Reiki symbol. So what I did yesterday is I took the numbers that Deborah gave us. I printed off that black and white symbol, and I put the numbers that were given to us by Deborah, and I put those in front of the symbol, and then I wrote, "I am in the matrix for those who picked all winning lottery numbers that made them millionaires." And so that's why I sent that to you. I didn't get caught up in the political.
Oh, good. Okay, because the symbol looks good to me.
But I saw the Reiki symbol, and that's why I sent that to you. That's why I wanted to know if it was true or not.
Yeah, I get that it is.
Oh,
I tested it a little bit. I saved the image, but I haven't sent it to the group yet because I want to test to see if that's for the best.
Okay, got it.
Send it to yourself. And
well, yeah, and that's what I did for our highest and best.
I love it. The thing of it is, and I talked with a couple people yesterday who are physically, they've got a diagnosis and they're physically having a challenge. And I said, turn off the TV.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think they have. So we see for this neutralize this violence thing, we want the dispenser, and we also want yes therapy. So let's go in there. I want to do this. see how that verbiage is. Neutralize media stimulation for violence. Remember, that's how they get their viewers.
Yep. What do they say? If it bleeds, it leads.
What's that?
What do they say? When it bleeds, it leads.
Yeah. And it talks about this in this book, how they insert codes in images that we see. And I thought, wow, of all books to pick, this is quite interesting. So,
You know what they say, there are no accidents.
that's exactly right. And you learn that the more quantum work you do, and even this situation we have at this time in Washington, that is not an accident for some reason. And it's not really a political thing, but there are things we need to see.
Right.
And this is just to maintain our freedom and sovereignty. It's nothing about a political party.
Yes.
Yep.
And so let's go up here. This, to me, is always interesting to look at the flower essences and put them in the motion scanner. And this is in reference to this media thing. Okay. We're wanting to increase second chakra energies. We're wanting to transmute ego and selfish emotions. So let's just go up here. Okay. Let's see what else we got. And I will go in later and see if there's codes for this. This transmute ego, selfish emotions, and transform into love, that could be a powerful code. Raising them to the spiritual plane, again, a powerful code. Fear is going to be big, and we do have a code in here for that, which I'll show you in a minute. Let's just say fears. Anything, what I'm reading now, is anything you can do to disrupt your daily routine. Mine was majorly disrupted yesterday from about 11 till 3:30. I was totally goofing off and reading my book and getting my hair done. And there is something to that, because they say you can raise, if you can get out of your routine. Most of us, we're walking in a circle. We're walking in a circle, and what we want, let's say there's stones taking you in a circle. We want to change that. We want those stones taking us far out, as far as we can see, towards our purpose. And so anything you can do, if you're caught up in this, you may not be. But if you are, then do something different today. Look at this, lack of interest in present circumstances. Let's see what that leads to. So we in other words, we have to have awareness. So again, just a little look at the little minor exorcism there. Personal adversity and turmoil. Again, let's do this, dwells on thoughts of the past. Again, you curse addiction. Look at that, detox heavy metals. One of my projects today to find my activated charcoal, and if not, I'll just go buy more. But so we see there's a little spiritual stress related to heavy metal toxicity, loneliness, and that with this lockdown, there's so much isolation and loneliness, and we need to be aware of that stress and do what we can to work with it to clear it. Loneliness. Isolation. Thin-skinned, sensitive to criticism or disapproval. As far as the political thing, most of us, if we talk with those who have opposing views, when it comes right down to it, you'll find out we have the same goals. So it's been very interesting. Let's look at that worry. Look at the tie into the minerals, so let's make sure we stay mineralized. Over, persistent, unwanted. And don't forget that cancel, or search, remove, clear. Look, hips, which could mean just not moving forward.
I like that one, mental brain arguments.
That's a good way. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Because we'll see what our words to ponder are today, but we are supposedly talking to ourselves all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I know I am.
And so let's see what we got.
Sometimes out loud.
And look how many times
Especially
curses come up. And if you think about this, curse could be what we've downloaded at birth or conception from our own ancestral patterns. So we might, perhaps as a people have been through this similar things before, and we've got to balance that out. They say this is the time of great, what's the word I want to say, a rise in consciousness like they've never seen before. Now we want 5 minutes with 8 repeats. I'm not going to start it now because I'm going to come back later and see if there's any codes. Let's do this negative energy remover.
The great rise in consciousness. That's what that symbol that I sent you. It opens all your chakras.
I love that symbol. And
what symbol was that, Joanna?
I'll let Cathy release it because before I release anything, I always run it past her.
Oh, you don't have to do that. We can all share our information and do it. I will, though. I did save the image.
Okay. I don't know what it's called, but it's a Reiki symbol. It looks like a box, and there's a male and a female one, and you tell the difference because the male has bigger and the female is littler. But it looks like a box, but it's just a Reiki symbol.
Yeah. Now, look at this unconditional love. Love and compassion is probably the most important thing we could be focused on if we're really trying to shift consciousness. Break free of pessimism. I had to really do some work on myself with that. But it's not serving any purpose. Clear, destructive, ancient human fears. Again, that may be what that curse thing is really about. This is pulling up other times, lurking in our consciousness where we've seen similar things. Balanced brain waves. And this is a great one. I am a high frequency light being and dismantle anything harmful coming into my body. How can you go wrong with that? Look at that, those brain waves. A little stressed, but we go all the way up to 102. And you might want to have a couple of grilled cheese days.
Exactly, with fries.
Yeah, and give thanks that we have this wonderful country where we have these privileges that many have no conception of. They maybe should learn a little bit more about what goes on around the world.
Boy,
You can't force that.
yeah.
And this, I just made a note. There are people we've looked up to, medical, political, entertainment, that we're going to be finding out have lied to us. Now, we may not easily find it out because so much of the media blocks it. I put this one in. I'm going to add this for me, but not everybody has the same beliefs. But this is one. Lord, remove Satan's seat from my region, city, and nation. There's a code for it. Here's another one. I bind and cast out spirits of paranoia, suspicion, distrust, persecution, confrontation, and fear, and then in the name of Jesus. And that is what you come to believe, is that many of these mental attitudes are actually something designed to lower our spiritual consciousness, so we're not served in any way. I love this one. The world is filled with loving and compassionate people, and it is. So this is what, especially if we're going to work on a collective level, we've got to understand this. Use the strategies of God, which would be, in my book anyway, unconditional love. And knowing that we are surrounded by everything we need if we can clear the channels to receive it. And we're not going to clear the channels if we're all upset. The light has overcome the dark.
I think that's what's in play right now, myself.
Mm-hmm. It's a real interesting time because I think we just want to keep gaining knowledge. And right now we can do that. Look at that strong number for that. But now this is an interesting one. Unplug from the program matrix. I did a couple of sessions earlier this morning. We'll see how the group does, but the people this morning, that was a tough one. Let's just see as our group how we do with accepting that code. That's pretty good, 85, all right. End the exploitation of mankind. You know, even a child knows when something isn't fair. And, okay, look at that. That's a low number. Let's just put that in the shin for now. And one thing is we're not getting equal information. We're getting very limited. This is another one people are really asking for on a regular basis. Block programming from satellites. And then that in there. And then another thing, let me just go ahead and show this is something that was pointed out to me by someone else. Let's put an object here, and we're going to put fear. And then go down here, and I'll send this little phrase out if I haven't already. But if you just go down here, I've got it programmed in. Complete extermination from existence. And this would be the energies that may be cooperating, the negative energies cooperating to keep people in fear, and just put that in complete extermination from existence and give yourself 5 minutes. The idea being, what can it hurt? Not going to hurt anything. And then finally, I just wanted to make a little note. One of the areas that they're really trying to keep us in fear over, and you can just watch the media and see this, is the COVID, which we have a 99.9 survival rate. So that's just another thought. Let's quickly douse in the beginning clearing.
Can I tell a quick story about the
Oh,
COVID?
absolutely, yeah.
So yesterday I'm on the way home from an appointment, and I had the radio going, and a commercial came on, and this was just a regular radio station playing 80s music or whatever. So anyway, there's the dispatcher came back on, the disc jockey came back on and said, we have somebody here that has a special request. And so she came on, and he says, I understand that you are just recuperating from COVID or just dealing with it. And she said, yes. And he said, can you tell us a little bit about it? So she started telling her whole story about when she got sick and how it would affect her and this, that, and the other. And he said, can you just tell us a little bit about your symptoms? And then she went on to tell us all about her symptoms and this, that, and the other. And then he said, and is it affecting any of your other family? This was on a radio station. It was like an interview about COVID and about what you're doing and how do you feel about the vaccine? Did you get the vaccine? Are you going to have your kids get the vaccine? And I thought, and this went on for I listened to it because it went on for 5 minutes. And I'm like, wow.
It's real programming.
Holy moly. And this was a disc jockey interviewing this woman and asking questions. And I'm like, really? It was amazing. It was just amazing to listen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I'll show you just real quickly here what we're wanting today. Destroy harmful virus. I've got all the corona stuff in our scan whenever we want it. We are we're mentioning not corona, but just virus in general. So let's add that in. But yeah, the stuff is amazing what we're seeing. And even medical doctors have tried to step out and tell the truth, and their work is just taken down.
Yeah.
This multi-dimensional interference is a big one. The balance, adrenaline, that's a big one. Armed against the enemy schemes comes up almost every time for us to balance. Deactivate demonic energy often comes up. Now this is a hair over 1,000, but I want to point out this is inched up a little bit. This bandwidth to handle truth, and depending on a person's amount of programming, if the light coming in is not received by the brain cells, they literally don't have the bandwidth. It's like having the regular stations from the old days where we had 3?
Yeah.
And you just don't have the bandwidth to get all the stations. So I'll add all these in later. We've already got the whole pack of them added, but let's just see what we got here. We're going to do basics here.
Oh, I said.
And we'll be doing other things during the day, the sustenance balancer, etc. But let's just see for now.
Cathy, while you're looking, who was the author of the Phoenix Key, if you don't mind?
Yeah, it is Preston and Child. It's apparently two authors.
Okay.
I don't know if y'all can see. And it really is good. And I think maybe it's time to take our mind off a few other things. And it's not always easy because you're so used to having your regular routine, but you might want to picture we've been walking on a bunch of stones all in a circle. Maybe it's time to do some rearranging.
Talk about a synchronicity, Cathy. Martha is a rabid reader.
Yeah.
And she's always looking for new authors. And she was just telling me in the last week or so that she found this book and these authors she absolutely loves, and it's Preston and Childs.
Oh, wow. Isn't that funny?
Yep.
They are wonderful.
Yeah, that's what she said. She loves them. In fact, she's on her second or third book.
I'm going to be getting some more of their books.
Yeah, I'll tell her about this one.
Yeah. So for now, let's see how we end. And then it would be more work as the day goes on. This legs and feet could literally mean moving forward. This pain possibly unfelt. You know, on a deeper level, I think many of us have sensed much of what's been going on. And it does cause some pain. That pain may be coming forward at this time. Let's take away some of this resistance. Stomach chakra, which is our creativity. Probably do a little balancing. Let's just do this real quickly, and then I know I need to let you go. It's for fun. Not bad, 20 minutes. So see, this getting energy every day, that is a factor. Reproductive, skin, metal strengthening, that would be large intestine, and lungs and skin, that would be the metal strengthening. Got a little agitation there. Let's go ahead and just, have I already? Oh, I haven't started it yet. So let's add agitation. See, look at that. Look at how that opens up our aura. So again, we gotta balance that out. Where did I go? Gallbladder. Fools learn from experience. Wise men learn from the experience of others. So that's interesting. Amusement, wood, see that wood element again. Liver, gallbladder, compensation, shame. Let's just add shame in there to clear out. We know that's a low resonance. Stabilization during spiritual expansion. And that's really what we might want to look at this as. Let's just go ahead and see where we are with that at this point. Okay, I think we're looking pretty strong. Oh, and then we can do without streptococcus-related stress. Let's go into the pathogen panel. The thing about this is really extremely proactive, and this is coming from the etheric field. Now let's just go and see what we've got with that. And see that heavy metal is coming up repeatedly.
How do you take charcoal?
Pardon me?
How do you take charcoal?
Well, my understanding is you just take a couple of capsules a little bit before bed. You don't want to take it when you've taken other supplements or medications, anything like that, because it's going to strip your body of that as well.
What would that do to your minerals?
Well, that's the thing. You wouldn't want to take it right after you had taken your supplements, and it's probably going to clear some of the minerals. But if you do the mineral work early in the day, it should be okay. That's what I've learned. But there are some other products too I'm looking up and learning about. I'm just putting the images in, but I'll probably have to show you tomorrow because I'll have to find them. But I've got them in here. Actually, I have them in with the allergy. Let's look at that allergy cocktail scan. If you look right down here, if we come up for these are two, zeolite and then something called Pectaclear, and you might want to Google those. But and I'm going to test one last thing. I did put a super clear cocktail together, but we didn't want it yesterday. Let's see if we want it today. No, we still don't want it, but at some point I wanted it. I wanted 24 hours of it, but the group wanted it. So that's where we are for now, and let's just see how we do with this and what comes next.
Absolutely.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
That will conclude CathyDslayt's SRC4U Zoom call for January 7th, 2021. Thank you for being with us, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Take care and be well.